Good morning.
Morning.
We are live. Mike in the chat's asking, there's no video, there's a holding screen. Well, we should be here now.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing, Carole?
Good. How are you?
You know, coping, busy. We were just saying that both of us are pretty busy at the minute.
Yeah, it's been a busy week.
Yeah, you've had a lot on. I was saying before we went live how I was looking for some news for this week's episode, and kind of 2/3 of it at least involve you. So this is
Carole.
Carole, indeed. I posted on Twitter. It's really hot here in London. How is it up in Scotland? Have you got your one day of sunshine?
I've not been outside yet. It looks bright. The window's kind of blinding me a wee bit. Yeah, I'll go out at lunchtime. But yeah, it looks really nice. I'll try and get out and go for a run for the one day that it's warm. No rain.
No rain, indeed. And we've both got our Umbraco T-shirts on. In fact, matching.
The uniform, yeah.
Uniform, indeed.
Unintentional, but we can say it was on purpose.
Yeah. It's yeah, brilliant. I just grabbed the first one that was in my cupboard, but people have been posting their awesome looking Umbraco tees on Twitter with the hashtag Umbraco Tees, and it made me feel a bit ashamed because I think a few minutes ago Pornima posted her Hacktoberfest one, and made me think I should up my game rather than just going for the default. So maybe I'll change it up a bit later. But yeah, we've got Christian, we've got Soren, Sven with a haircut. Okay, very, very good. And all of HQ as well. Loads and loads of people. Great to see.
Yeah. I was going to wear my Candid Contribution sweater, but it's a bit too hot for a jumper today, so I've not. Thought that would count as an Umbraco tee, kind of.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it does. I was thinking of putting an umbraCoffee one on as well. It's
That definitely counts.
Yeah. Okay. The thing we were talking about earlier was it's great to see a slight different approach from HQ and their participation in the Umbraco Tees Day. I think the first post I saw was Vera explaining who she is, what she does at HQ, which helps demystify exactly what Umbraco HQ is all about and who the people are.
Yeah, I think it's a really nice idea because people that are new to community, or maybe there's people that are new to HQ and we don't know what they do. It's cool to get to know who everyone is and what they do. Maybe for the next one, community folks can do that too.
Indeed, I saw Paul Seal mentioned it as well. I think it's very valuable. It's a nice way to get to know people. And
a Twitter, is it a moment or whatever the thing is, where you can tag lots of tweets together, and in that way it's basically like a who's who of, like, if you want to know who's the person for that thing, then you can go and look that up.
That's a good idea. Someone do that. Yeah, and it's helped learn things about people that you maybe wouldn't know from HQ. For example, if you may interact mostly with, I don't know, Sebastian or Niels or someone, but there's a lot of people there. So getting to know people from Coma and the Suits teams as well is great. And I saw Mike tweeted his Corona socks as well. So it's not just Umbraco tees, it's Umbraco socks today as well. And I'm jealous. How do I get a pair? I'll happily pay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Corona socks would be amazing. Awesome. So before we maybe dive into the Carole news from this week, should we talk about some releases? Because there was a couple of little things this week. We had something new from Vendor version 1.2.7 with some fixes and a couple of patches, and making it a little bit more consistent with how T-commerce does things. So that's cool. I've been using Vendor quite actively recently, and it's been great. And it's great to see Matt evolving the product quickly too. And he mentioned earlier this week that he's working on adding support for tracking and dashboards and analytics, which is something that I'm particularly missing right now. So that would be really cool.
That's really cool.
Are you doing any Vendor stuff?
I've not had a chance to have a real look at Vendor. I've not had a project that needed it or time, to be honest. But even just looking at the docs and stuff, it just looks so well maintained. And you know, if it's Matt and Lucy behind it, they'll give it a lot of
Indeed.
attention and love. It'll be great.
Indeed. Even Matt this week, he saw a forum post. I think he posted, he saw a forum post, and he actually went and improved the docs as a result of the forum post. Instead of answering, he just said, I fixed the docs for you. There you go. And he's,
amazing.
I think, improved the search on the docs this week. So you can search by, it's version specific. So if something's changed in version 1.2.7, it will have slightly different, like a different link in the autocomplete search, which is really nice. They are doing a wonderful job. Cool. What else has happened this week? We have, for the first time in many weeks, we've had a new package released, which is the Skybridge Text Box. And of course, that's incredibly descriptive. But if we go to the GitHub page, there's a bit more information. Skybridge Text Box looks like it's kind of everything you wanted in the text field. So you can have placeholder text, fallbacks, character limits, and it seems like a really nice editor-friendly thing. It's in beta. You can go try it out. Everything that comes out of Skybridge and Anders is generally awesome. So I'm sure this is good. And it's the kind of thing that probably should be in core, to be honest.
Yeah, it probably seems like one of those ones that will end up a pull request into core at some point.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like it's a hugely complex package. It's a bit of AngularJS. So hopefully that can make it into core.
Cool.
And the final thing that was released this week was Jeffrey and the uMarketing Suite team and their segment builder, which is looking really, really slick. Every single thing we see from this product is looking awesome.
Yeah. So that screenshot, and it looks so cool. Again, I've not had a lot of time to have a look at it or have a demo or anything of it, but every screenshot I see, I'm like, yes, that, like, they've always, even before this product came out, whenever you saw demos or screenshots from their projects, they just put so much attention into the editor experience, and it really shows.
Yeah, indeed. And I'll say fortunately, I don't do that much with marketing platforms and marketing tech and stuff, but it seems like it's been created in a way that would be really intuitive for someone like me that hasn't got the faintest idea about where to get started with that sort of thing, or even the official terminology. Like it's still Umbraco enough that I could understand it, which is awesome.
Yeah, so cool.
Let's talk about some Carole news. You've been busy.
Yes, the busiest guy in the Umbraco community.
What have you been doing this week? You had a meetup on Tuesday?
Yeah, we had our Ladies of Code Glasgow virtual meetup. Well, I guess we say Glasgow, but meetups are everywhere now, right? So
yes.
Yeah, so it was cool. It was really good to catch up with some people. We had one of the organisers of the London meetup was able to join us because she can, because it's virtual. And yeah, it's just good to catch up with everyone that we have our meetup every month. So there's people that we that are either like new to development, and you kind of hear about their career evolving. So it's always good to get an update on how people are doing, or just in general, some techie chat when you're usually sitting in your house, not getting that anymore.
So I've heard about Ladies of Code meetups for forever. They've been around a long time. You've been running one in Glasgow for two years now?
I think it might be like 4.
Oh wow, okay. Well,
yeah, something like that. A long time, yeah. And we're quite consistent now. They're like every month, so it's quite a nice wee community.
And is it talks, or is it a hackathon, or coding, or
what really? Yeah,
sometimes
we have talks, we have workshops, we have just catching up really. So this one we said it was a show and tell, but it was kind of just a catch up, what you've been working on, if everyone want to screen share anything and stuff. So we had just a good chat really about a lot of things. And then one of the girls is doing some research for a paper into tech and security of tech and perceived security of tech. So she was just kind of using it as a chance to catch up with people and get some insight to that. So that turned into a really interesting chat, as you can imagine.
That sounds incredibly interesting, like a very like a tinfoil hat type,
And it was specific to the COVID, like since COVID, do people part of it was towards the actual security of tech, and some of it was around the whole fake news or interpretation of news and stuff. So it got really interesting.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Cool. Wow. So Ladies of Code meetups, yours runs monthly, but they run kind of in many cities all over the world, and it's free to attend, and it's virtual. The Glasgow one right now.
Yeah, and the London one too. They're doing a lot. They've been doing a lot of cool events as well. So yeah, they're on Meetup. If you search for Ladies of Code, you'll find us, or you'll find the London one.
We'll put it.
Thanks.
It's a nice thing that someone from the Umbraco community is running one, because it might actually encourage some people who wouldn't have maybe gone for fear of feeling, not knowing anyone. Well, actually, especially whilst it's virtual.
Yeah, I know, right? You just like drop into a Zoom call with strangers, like, hi.
Yeah, exactly. But that's awesome. That's really, really cool. There's other meetups going on, including some of yours, so we'll talk about those. Leeds are doing a virtual barbecue and beers. I'm really interested to see how this is going to work. There's some discussion topics as well, so it's more of a kind of social, let's have a chat about some things on Zoom, and that is on the 6th of August. That's next Thursday. I cannot believe it's August already. This year is flying by. It's insane. And then the following Tuesday, you are hosting your Glasgow Umbraco meetup.
Yeah, it's our first virtual one. We usually do alternate months with the Edinburgh meetup, but we've just not done one since lockdown. It's been very busy. So yeah, we're doing our first virtual one, and what's good is we don't need people to come to Scotland now. It's virtual, so anyone can join us. So if anyone wants to attend, but also we're looking for, I guess, a kind of show and tell type thing as well. If anyone wants to show what they've been working on or suggest any interesting topics we can chat about, then let us know and come along.
Awesome. And Owen's already going to be showing something he's been working on. That's
yeah, a kind of markdown editor, I think.
Yeah, that's very, very cool. So Thursday, it's on Zoom. You can be anywhere in the world to attend, which is great, and cool for speakers. If you want to show something off, something you've been working on, get in touch with Carole.
Yeah,
so next, no, not next week, but the following week is going to be really busy because there's a few meetups happening. There's the virtual Australian meetup happening on Wednesday, and for us in the UK or Europe, that's Wednesday morning, so we can still attend, which is really, really cool. Purnima's going to be doing a talk, showing off some use cases of Heartcore as part of an IoT Alexa skill, and then there'll be some other discussions as well. I've attended a few of these, and they've been really, really good, and it's nice to engage with. In fact, I think you can see my little potato face there. It's great to engage with people kind of halfway across the world that you wouldn't normally get to see. Maybe once a year at Code Garden only.
Yeah, and Purnima's talk sounds really interesting as well, so I might try and attend.
Yeah, I didn't notice that was happening until I just read it there, so I might also try and attend. She's a fantastic speaker.
Yeah, awesome.
Cool, and we have a London one as well, which is going to have some talks to be announced very, very soon, I believe. But that's on the Thursday. So 3 meetups in a week. You can have your Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday completely occupied by meetups.
Umbraco every day. And then Umbra Coffee on the Friday.
Of course. Always. And in fact, we have a really exciting Umbra Coffee that week as well.
You can't say that and not tell us.
I can't tell you what it is. I can't tell you what it is. But in fact, in August, we've got Umbra Coffees scheduled for every single week, with some really exciting guests from.
What? You never plan that far in advance.
No, we don't. But this has taken a little bit of work. People from outside of the Umbraco community, some people from deep within the Umbraco community, and some other things as well. So that should be really exciting. And it should be. I believe we're going to have Umbraco 8.7 at some point in August too. So we'll have a whole bunch of chatter around that. This is going to be big.
You look so excited about it. I'm looking forward to hearing about it.
I'm more excited that it's prepared, because this is normally not very well prepared.
I got a message yesterday. That's way more notice than usual.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're really organised these days.
Yeah. If you're lucky if you get a message an hour before normally. Okay. So as we said, you've been busy, and you were the trailblazer for this webinar that was on Wednesday. Is that right?
Yeah, it's really cool. HQ are doing a series of webinars on case studies to show off some cool stuff that different companies have done with Umbraco, and we were asked to show one of ours. So yeah, I think we were the first one. So at least there's it's good and bad being the first one, right? There's no one to compare yourself to, but you don't know what to expect. But no, it was good fun. I was really happy to be asked to do it and to show off what a case study we're really proud of.
Yeah, it's the hotel chain, isn't it?
Yes.
And is this the one you've spoken about before, doing all kinds of awesome IoT stuff as well?
Yeah, so it was that case study that a few folks have probably seen me give a talk on from the dev side, and this was not too technical. Hopefully, it was a kind of case study that would hopefully suit other kind of folks that work in digital but aren't necessarily developers. And then it showed maybe a few further developments since probably the last talk that people saw about it. So it was cool to reflect back on it. It was we started that a few years ago, so it was cool to look back at how far it's come. And also I was chatting to the account management team in prep for it, and they gave me some numbers of how well it performed. And it's always cool to know that your code has like caused that or helped cause that that performance improvement. So it's really good fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. And as well, if you think about it from a point of view of that project having an impact on a large number of people, or being in front of a large number of people, you're building a website and devices and systems that they interact with in the hotel without like even thinking about it's Umbraco or anything. And that's a truly impressive scale to be working at, and not just someone consuming something on a phone, for example.
Yeah, it was cool. I was saying to Anders, it's cool when because there's a hotel in Glasgow, and that's where my gym was, I guess, before all of this lockdown stuff. So it was cool getting to walk through the lobby and see the big screen with the content on it. And be like, have we done that?
You've just got to hope for the day that you walk in and there's like a yellow screen of death or something.
Walk by it, don't make contact with it. Yeah.
Really back out of the hotel. Amazing.
Yeah.
So was it recorded? It was on a Zoom webinar, right?
It was, yeah. I think it'll be recorded, and the case study is on, I think, the Umbraco site. So I think they'll probably attach it to that.
Amazing, cool. If I find the link, I will put it below. Cool. Now, whilst we're talking about stuff you've been up to, you have a podcast, and with the wonderful Lottie and Carole and Laura. And yeah,
I'm Carole.
You're Carole. Oh dear, it's Friday. My brain's not working.
I understand. Yeah.
Sorry. So candid contributions. What's been happening? You've had episodes every couple of weeks, and you've had one this week called Feedback, which is a really long one, but I've not had a chance to listen to it just yet.
Yeah, we can chat, as anyone who knows us probably knows. So yeah, it's quite a long one, but it's a topic that we were really interested in. So we've been doing the podcast since like January now, and this is the last in the current series. And yeah, it's been really good fun. We chatted about feedback, how you kind of give feedback to people, the best constructive ways to do it, how to take on feedback that other people give you, which is always fun. And yeah, just as usual, we kind of went into a few different topics as well. But yeah, it was really good fun. If anyone's got feedback on it, then let us know. Or any ideas for the new season that we'll be doing, maybe I think a month or so. We're going to take a little break.
Nice. So you're taking a summer holiday, and then you'll be back at some point. Yeah. Cool.
Summer holidays. I don't know if we'll be going on a summer holiday, but we're taking a break anyway. Yeah.
An August break maybe is a better term. The thing I really love about the podcast is the dynamic between the four of you, because of course you're all friends and you know each other through Umbraco, and your friendship extends beyond that. But the other thing I like, and especially I guess it's valuable for topics like this feedback topic, is your various different experience because, for example, you are a team leader in your company. You've got Lottie, who works for her own company, and you've got Laura and Emma, who are freelancers, and so they all have various different perspectives on challenges, on topics, and having that balance is really interesting.
Yeah, we even chatted a little bit about kind of open source and feedback and how that must be really hard because as a team leader, even just as a colleague, you know someone, you know their personality, you know how you can best give that person feedback to that they don't take it personally, that it motivates them and all of those things. It must be so hard for open source maintainers to know how someone might react or the best feedback to give and what seems like, I mean, in Umbraco, you'll generally get friendly feedback anyway, but you don't always get that in open source. It just must be really hard for people that are giving feedback on open source to even know if it's the right pitched at the right level for the person that
I was going to say there's always this barrier when dealing with text and online that things can be misconstrued so easily, and also getting tone across is really difficult. And like I try and be as friendly as and enthusiastic as possible when responding to a pull request or a bug. Like I say, thank you for trying out my package, or thank you for raising this. This is really nice and detailed. When maybe inside I'm thinking, oh God, I've got to fix something. But similarly, they're going to be equally as frustrated on the other end, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely. It's it was good fun chatting about it, and we probably could have chatted for another hour on it, knowing us. But yeah, it was good fun.
Awesome. Cool. So as you said, back some point in the next couple months with a season 2. Your season 1 has been themed along like a specific word for each episode, and that's been your topic. Are you going to try and continue doing that sort of thing? Do you have words?
BBC, we were like, okay, season 2, do we do 2 words? I don't know. Not sure. I can't say we've planned that. I think we've got a few episodes topics that we would like to talk about, but then sometimes we change it to something that's happened that week that's more topical or whatever. But it would be good to have other people's inputs into either guests they would like to have on. So I guess for folks who don't know, it's mostly around our experiences in open source. And we've had a few really awesome people on talking about their experience in open source. So yeah, any suggestions for people or topics would be great.
Cool. And people can reach you on Twitter at Candid Contributions, and you have an email, hello@candidcontributions.com. Is that right?
Yeah, I think on Twitter it's Candid Contribs because
Candid
you
Contribs.
have a really long name.
Yes, you're right. Anyway, the links will be below, so you know how to reach people. Awesome. Yeah, I've really enjoyed the past 16 episodes. It's very good going.
We've got like 100 to catch up with you, yeah.
Yeah, 120 episodes to catch up with.
That's really awesome. Well done.
Yeah, and we still manage to do it every single week. We only take Christmas off, which is and in fact, if we look at all of the stuff we've done at Code Garden as well, we're actually over 150 episodes.
Wow,
which is
that's awesome.
150 half an hour's worth of rubbish that you can go and watch on YouTube. Anyway, let's go on to some positive news from this week. I saw Jesper tweeted this awesome high five you rock to Erik Jan Westendorp from the Netherlands, who has improved the docs for 11 different services in Umbraco over the past month or so, and they're not small things at all. These are stuff that I've probably had to use before and had to just discover by looking at the source or something. So it's now really well documented, which is awesome. Don't get to shout out people too much for that sort of thing, but
no, that's really valuable. It's really important.
Indeed. And this one I discovered on Twitter. It was posted yesterday by a guy called Ivan from Russia, I believe. And the article's in Russia, and I'll share it below in Russian. I'll share it below. But if you can translate it with Google, it's really well written and an incredibly good introduction to Umbraco. And it's about why they chose Umbraco versus other CMSs, advantages, disadvantages, the whole kind of CMS landscape as a whole, and why Umbraco fits well into that. And then I thought, I'd read that and thought, oh, this was just going to be a kind of marketing piece. No, it goes on about getting Umbraco up and running in Azure, all of the plugins that you need, and then about getting started building your solution with kind of all the concepts. It gives a shout out to USync and UCommerce even here for yeah, like it's going to so much detail, and then it goes into all the code about building a site, an example site. So fantastic work. I have never heard of this company. I've never heard of Ivan, but this is a hugely awesome blog post. So well done, and we'll share the link below for anyone that wants to go and have a read of that, because it's truly, truly good.
That's like super detailed. That could probably be a series of blog posts. That's amazing.
Yeah, most people would have released that as 3 or 4 for articles. That is, yeah, very, very impressive. Well done, Ivan. Maybe we can get Ivan on. We've never had anyone from Russia, I don't think, join us.
Yeah, you should get in touch.
Hi,
hello. Well, okay. Now that's played, I might as well talk about the the next thing I had, which is again talking about explaining things, introducing things. Matt Barlow off of Jacka.io, and he's built a whole bunch of popular packages as well. The Bulma starter kit and the Amplify theme. Recently, he started a YouTube channel, and he's going to be walking through some of the things he's built and he works on. So go check that out. This is the first video that he's done for introducing Amplify and kind of everything that can do. That looks pretty good. What else from this week? An SEO, how to make your site SEO friendly. And Lars from Umbraco HQ has been sharing some tips that he shared from his kind of experience about ways to make your site SEO friendly. It's something that every time I hear the word SEO, I kind of shudder a bit. I don't like dealing with it. It's often painful and sometimes kind of dark magic that no one really knows how it works. But this demystifies a lot of it, and it seems to be a multi-part series. This is part 1. Hopefully, we'll see a bit more of that.
That's really cool. It's one of those things I learn from. It's not something I truly understand. I think I end up repeating things that I hear from SEO experts. Really, like yeah. I've heard that this thing's important.
Yeah, you just regurgitate knowledge that you've heard elsewhere.
Yeah.
I've said this a few times, but I'm really enjoying these more technical, more like domain specific blog posts from Umbraco.
Yeah, maybe it'd be cool to add some of those examples maybe back to the docs, because once blogs go back a few months or whatever, they kind of get lost, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as well, there's, for example, some fantastic Umbraco packages for doing SEO, such as Richard Soapman's SEO checker. I've got a sitemap package. I know Seb's built stuff in the past as well. So maybe some kind of way of either baking that into the docs or highlighting those in here would be really cool, because it can be both a technical resource and a kind of a informative or a marketing resource.
It would actually probably make a cool like meetup topic, because we've done a similar thing in Glasgow before where it was like how we do components, but it'd be how do you do SEO, because we all need to do it for our sites, but we all probably have our own ways, some slightly different from others or whatever. It'd be cool to be like, how do you implement SEO things in Umbraco?
Yeah,
do a bit of a show and tell for that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I had 2 final things, and then we'll wrap up. This one is a really interesting topic from Chris Houston, who this week asked, how many back office users does your largest Umbraco sites do they have? And it seems overwhelmingly people have chosen 11 to 100, which is a very broad bracket. Like we could be talking 12 for most people. But I also fall into that bracket. And it got me thinking, we were discussing this before we went live. How many concurrent users do we actually have on our systems? Because I reckon we'd start, if you had 100 concurrent users, you would start to see some truly interesting performance and concurrency issues. I think the European Council, Simone and Dirk have spoken about this before. I think they do some quite extensive content editing, have like a lot of concurrent stuff, but I guess rarely on the same nodes.
Yeah, typical devs, we started trying to come up with the architecture to get around it rather than it's like we could probably talk about that for an hour. But yeah,
services.
Yeah, if in doubt, chuck some microservices at it. But yeah, no, it's an interesting question, because if you ask the questions, then we can get to what the challenges are, and then we can get to a fix for it if there's one needed. So yeah, very interesting to see the use cases. I think, like you've said, because 100 people, but they only have permissions to certain parts of the tree, for example, that are specific to them is one thing, but 100 people that all have access to the one part of the tree and will be making content changes to that one node would be interesting, I think. Yeah,
definitely. I'd love to know, I'd love to see a follow-up poll here that's concurrent users and also kind of what type of editing they're doing. If they're creating whole new pages or just editing one property, I'd say the editing one property thing is probably more damaging than people creating their own siloed pages. Very interesting.
What we'll need to do is we'll need to get a demo site up on Azure and then get 100 volunteers to all go in at the same time and then see whose content wins.
Yes, that's a fantastic use of time, I think. Cool. Okay, and that was it from the Umbraco news that I had. But I did have one other thing which we wanted to shout out. Of course, we gave Owen a shout out last week for this. Owen is running 2 marathons in 2 days for a fantastic cause, or 2 fantastic causes, in fact. And this week has doubled his fundraising target and nearly hit the new target as well. So target's 2,000. There's another £250 to go. I wonder if we can get it a bit higher, maybe 3,000 by this time next week. That would be really cool. But well done.
It's so cool. I know it's a cause that's really close to his heart. So I know that he and his family should be super proud of that. That's an amazing amount to have raised for those charities. Yeah,
and spending 2 days outdoors in Scotland, that's equally brave.
I've ran a marathon I could not run. I won the next day. So well done, Owen.
Amazing. Cool. Well, that's all I had from the news. Did I miss anything?
I think you've got everything. Other than we don't know who your secret guests are in August, so we're excited for that.
I can't tell you just yet, but soon you'll learn in good time. I promise. Cool. Well, thank you very much, Carole, for joining. Of course, we'll continue enjoying the sunshine we've got here, and our Umbraco Tees. I might change mine. We've got a virtual Friday bar a bit later on as well. If anyone wants to join for a little chat at 3 p.m. With HQ and the community, it should be good fun. And otherwise, enjoy your weekend. Have a great week ahead.
You too.
Great to speak. See ya.